FDA has approved the first cell-based gene therapies to fight sickle cell disease. These two new treatments are, quote, milestone treatments that will help patients 12 years old and up. Here to talk more about it, Dr. Leah Croll. She is a neurologist at the Lewis Katz School of Medicine at Temple University. Dr. Croll, thanks for being here. First of all, what is sickle cell disease? Talk us through that.
Good to see you, Marni. Sickle cell disease is a genetic disease. It predominantly affects Black Americans, and it results in an abnormal sickling of red blood cells, which can lead to clogs in blood flow and therefore a number of medical complications and severe pain.
So these new therapies considered promising. How so?
I would say these are monumental breakthroughs. One of them in particular, Casgevy, is a gene editing technology called CRISPR. This is a brand new technology. I think the scientists who developed it just won the Nobel Prize for it only a couple of years ago. And it basically allows us to edit genes so that these patients stop producing these abnormal sickled red blood cells. And I am so excited about the potential for this type of therapy for other diseases as well.
How soon will we start to see it put into use?
The clinical trial data is pretty promising, so I think we'll start rolling it out pretty soon. You know, sickle cell disease is a horrible, unimaginable burden to bear. So to be able to have something finally that can really help these patients is amazing, and it really kind of lends itself to an urgency to roll this out.
Yeah, really, really great news. A couple other health headlines I want to get your thoughts on. 3.3 million Americans suffer from chronic fatigue syndrome, according to the CDC. They actually say the number could be even higher since many people with this syndrome are never diagnosed. What's the difference between being tired all the time and having a syndrome like this, chronic fatigue?
That's a great question. So the key difference really is how debilitating the fatigue is. In something like chronic fatigue syndrome, which is also known as myalgic encephalomyelitis, that fatigue interrupts your ability to carry out your normal life. So the criteria are for at least 6 months, patients are having fatigue that gets in the way of going to school, going to work, keeping up with their social life, doing chores around the house. They'll also have a symptom called post-exertional malaise, and this is essentially a worsening of the fatigue that happens after any degree of physical, mental, or emotional exertion. And they'll also have sleep that doesn't really restore any energy, so they won't feel renewed and refreshed after a good night's sleep. And other symptoms to look out for would be memory and concentration issues, and also dizziness and lightheadedness when standing up. But the important thing, again, here is that all of these symptoms get in the way of someone's normal daily life.
So what do you do about it if you fall into this category as a sufferer? And what is the role of these cytokines that I've been reading about?
Well, I would say that we still have a lot to learn about exactly what causes chronic fatigue syndrome. I think the CDC made some really good points when they were releasing this data. They said about 90% of people who live with this probably are not diagnosed correctly because it's so under-recognized, and that's particularly true for people of color. And the other thing we don't know about it is what causes it. So those cytokines you've been reading about, we think have something to do with it, but we have not flushed out those biologic mechanisms just yet.
More common in women, more common as we get older. And I think it's pretty concerning when rest isn't the cure, right? You would think chronic fatigue, get some sleep, you'll be better, but not so in this case. The flu and RSV and COVID cases rising, unfortunately, in the U.S. We expect this going into the cold months. Doctors are recommending bringing masks back. At least some are. 4 children have died of the flu just in the last week, bringing the season's total to 12. What's your messaging on this?
Well, look, I think it's important that people understand we're not seeing any new pathogens here. We're just seeing these cyclical viruses that have their cyclical ebbs and flows. They're all kind of surging at the same time right now. And, you know, the holidays are coming up. People are traveling. This is really a virus's best dream. It's the conditions that are perfect for spreading. It's cold. People are indoors. People are in cramped planes and trains. So I think that people just need to be vigilant. It's really about prevention here. So the best thing you can do is make sure you're up to date on your vaccines. And I do want to put in a plug here. Vaccines tend to take at least a couple of weeks before they're operating at maximum capacity. So if you want to be protected before Christmas, go ahead and get that done as soon as possible. And then, yes, if you know that you're going to be around vulnerable people like the very young, the very old, pregnant women, people who are immunocompromised, wearing a mask is not a bad idea. Making sure you're being super vigilant about washing your hands, about wearing a mask when you're in indoor poorly ventilated spaces, when you're on a plane, when you're on a train. These are all things you can do to minimize that risk of both getting yourself sick and getting other people sick.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.